Let's get one thing straight. This isn't about isolating yourself. It's about protecting your peace. When you hit 50, something shifts. You start to see the world differently. You've spent decades pouring energy into relationships, maintaining friendships, dealing with drama, and carrying responsibility. But now it's time to be selective. The people you surround yourself with at this stage of life can either elevate you or drain you. And if you're not careful, you might find yourself stuck in a cycle of unnecessary stress, negativity, or even regret. That's why it's crucial to reevaluate who gets access to you. Think about it. When was the last time you truly enjoyed the company of every single person in your life? Chances are there are people who leave you exhausted after a conversation. Maybe they constantly complain, maybe they bring up the past too much, or maybe they just don't align with your values anymore. After 50, your energy is precious. You've spent years giving to others, but now it's time to protect your emotional well-being. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you must choose wisely. You've earned the right to be intentional about your relationships. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever, and that's okay. So before you say yes to every social obligation, before you engage in draining conversations, ask yourself, is this person adding to my life or taking from it? If you can answer that honestly, you'll start to see why avoiding certain people after 50 isn't just a choice, it's a necessity. Not everyone you know deserves a seat at your table after 50. Why? Because some people are nothing more than energy vampires. You know exactly who they are. The ones who drain your spirit every time you talk to them. The friend who only calls when they need something. The family member who guilt trips you into doing things you don't want to do. Or the coworker who thrives on negativity. These people don't add to your life, they subtract from it. And the worst part, they don't even realize they're doing it. The biggest mistake you can make at this stage of life is believing that you owe anyone your time just because of history. Just because you've known someone for years doesn't mean they have to stay in your life forever. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to walk away from negativity. But here's the tricky part. Most energy vampires don't look harmful on the surface. They disguise themselves as concerned friends or supportive family, but every conversation with them leaves you feeling tired, stressed, or anxious. If someone constantly complains, criticizes, or manipulates, they are an energy vampire. After 50, protecting your energy becomes a survival skill. Your time is more valuable than ever, and you don't have the luxury of wasting it on people who deplete you. You need relationships that uplift you, conversations that inspire you, and friendships that feel light, not heavy. So, pay attention. Who makes you feel calm and happy after spending time with them? And who leaves you feeling drained, frustrated, or used? The answer to that question will tell you exactly who to avoid. Your peace is priceless. Guard it fiercely. After 50, the last thing you need is to be dragged into other people's chaos. Yet, some people thrive on drama. And if you're not careful, they'll make their problems your problems. Maybe it's a friend who always has an issue with someone, a sibling who holds on to childhood grudges, or an old acquaintance who can't seem to let go of the past. Whatever the case, these people are emotional anchors, keeping you tied to negativity when you should be moving forward. At this stage in life, peace should be your number one priority. You've worked too hard, survived too much, and grown too wise to waste your energy on petty arguments and meaningless conflicts. But drama lovers don't see it that way. They need an audience. They need someone to vent to, someone to take sides, someone to keep feeding their emotional fire. And if you're not careful, that someone will be you. Here's the truth. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to engage in conversations that steal your joy. And you don't have to fix other people's problems. The moment you recognize that someone thrives on conflict, it's time to step back. You're not here to be a referee in someone else's battles. You're not here to carry grudges that don't belong to you, and you're certainly not here to be someone's emotional dumping ground. So, the next time someone tries to pull you into their drama, pause and ask yourself, is this my burden to carry? If the answer is no, then let it go. You have better things to focus on, your happiness, your peace, and your future. The less drama you allow in your life, the more room you create for genuine joy. One of the hardest truths to accept after 50 is that not everyone in your life is truly your friend. Some people are only around because of what you offer them, your time, your energy, your kindness. But when you need support, they know where to be found. These are the one-sided relationships that take but never give, and if you don't set boundaries, they will continue to drain you. Think about it. How many people in your life actually check on you without needing something in return? How many friends genuinely celebrate your successes rather than secretly resenting them? If you're always the one initiating conversations, always the one making plans, always the one offering help but never receiving it, that's not friendship, that's convenience. The older you get, the more you realize that quality beats quantity. It's not about having a large social circle, it's about having the right people in it. People who are there when life gets tough, people who uplift you, who respect your time, who genuinely value your presence. But fake friends, they're only around when it benefits them. They'll disappear when you need them the most. And if you pay attention, you'll notice they always have an excuse. At this stage in life, you don't have time for surface-level connections. You don't have time to chase people who don't make an effort. The right relationships should feel reciprocal, supportive, and effortless. So, if you're constantly questioning whether someone truly cares about you, chances are they don't. Don't be afraid to let go of friendships that feel forced. It's better to be alone than surrounded by the wrong people. After 50, one of the most dangerous traps you can fall into is surrounding yourself with negative thinkers. You know the type. People who see obstacles in every opportunity, who complain more than they take action, who believe that life only gets worse with age. And if you're not careful, their mindset can become your mindset. Negativity is contagious. The more time you spend around people who dwell on problems instead of solutions, the more your own outlook starts to shift. Suddenly, you're questioning your own dreams. You're doubting your potential. You're buying into the idea that it's too late to start something new, when in reality, the best years of your life might still be ahead. But here's the truth. Your future is shaped by the people you allow into your space. If you're constantly surrounded by those who fear change, resist growth, and refuse to embrace new possibilities, you will start to do the same. That's why after 50, it's crucial to avoid those who bring you down and seek out those who lift you up. You need people who encourage you to take risks, to pursue passions, to see aging as an opportunity, not a limitation. Think about it, some of the most successful people in the world didn't hit their peak until later in life. Colonel Sanders started KFC at 65. Vera Wang designed her first dress at 40. Your life is far from over, but if you surround yourself with people who believe it is, you might start believing it too. So take a hard look at your inner circle. If someone's energy is constantly pulling you backward instead of pushing you forward, it's time to walk away. One of the biggest mistakes people make after 50 is holding on to relationships that are rooted in the past rather than the present. Maybe it's an old friend from childhood, a former coworker, or even a relative who you've known forever. But here's the question: are they still aligned with who you are today? Nostalgia can be comforting, but it can also be dangerous. Just because someone was a big part of your life at one point doesn't mean they still deserve that same space now. People change. You change. And sometimes relationships that were once fulfilling become nothing more than history. Yet so many people stay in these relationships out of guilt or habit, even when they no longer bring any real joy. Look at the conversations you have with these people. Are they filled with inspiration, new ideas, and growth? Or are they just replays of the past? If every interaction revolves around old memories but lacks any real connection in the present, then you have to ask yourself, why are you holding on? Living in the past prevents you from embracing the future. It keeps you locked in an old version of yourself instead of allowing you to grow into who you're meant to be. And if someone in your life is constantly reminding you of your past mistakes, dragging up old drama, or refusing to evolve, then it might be time to let them go. The most valuable people in your life are the ones who grow with you, who encourage you to keep moving forward, and who bring out the best in the person you are now, not the person you used to be. Choose to live in the present. Choose to move forward. Choose the people who are walking the same path as you. Let's talk about something most people avoid: family. Society tells us that family is everything, that we must always stay connected, that blood is thicker than water. But here's the harsh truth: not every family member is good for you. Some of the most toxic people in your life may be the ones who share your DNA. You know exactly who they are, the ones who guilt trip you, the ones who constantly criticize you, the ones who expect your time and energy but never give anything in return. Maybe it's a sibling who keeps bringing up childhood rivalries, a parent who refuses to respect your boundaries, or a cousin who only calls when they need something. These relationships don't bring love or support. They bring stress, resentment, and exhaustion. By the time you reach 50, you've given enough of yourself. You've sacrificed, compromised, and made excuses for people who never truly valued you. But now, it's time to stop. Being family doesn't mean they have the right to drain you emotionally. It doesn't mean you owe them endless second chances. You can love someone and still choose to keep your distance. You can wish them well and still decide that their presence in your life is not healthy. Setting boundaries with toxic family members is not betrayal, it's self-respect. If someone constantly disrespects you, manipulates you, or makes you feel less than, you have every right to walk away. You don't need their approval. You don't need to explain yourself. You simply need to choose your peace over their chaos. And here's the truth: the family you choose is just as important as the family you were born into. Surround yourself with people, family or not, who bring love, kindness, and support into your life. Life is too short to keep toxic people around just because of a last name. By the time you reach 50, you've likely spent a lifetime meeting expectations from family, friends, society, even yourself. You are expected to be a provider, a caretaker, a dependable friend, a supportive spouse. But what happens when those expectations no longer align with who you are? What happens when the people around you still expect you to be the same person you were 20 years ago? Here's the hard truth. Not everyone will understand your growth. Some people expect you to always be available, always say yes, always put their needs before yours. But after 50, it's time to put yourself first. If someone only values you for what you can do for them, that's not a relationship, that's an obligation. And you are not obligated to keep meeting expectations that drain you. Think about it. How often have you done things out of guilt instead of desire? How many times have you said yes just to avoid conflict? The problem with always being the reliable one is that people start taking you for granted. They assume you'll always be there, always pick up the pieces, always put your own needs last, and if you don't, they make you feel like the bad guy. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your energy. If a relationship is built on expectations rather than mutual appreciation, it's time to step back. You're not here to meet outdated roles that no longer serve you. You're here to enjoy life on your terms. So if someone in your life only reaches out when they need something, expects you to sacrifice your peace for their comfort, or tries to guilt you into doing things that no longer align with your happiness, it's time to let them go. Your happiness is not selfish, it's necessary. By the time you reach 50, your boundaries should be non-negotiable. You've spent years learning what brings you peace and what drains you, yet some people will still try to push past your limits. Maybe they overstep your personal space, pressure you into commitments you don't want, or dismiss your needs as if they don't matter. But here's the truth. If someone doesn't respect your boundaries, they don't respect you. Respect isn't about words, it's about actions. You can tell someone, I need space, but if they keep showing up uninvited, they're ignoring your needs. You can say, I'm not comfortable with that, but if they keep pushing, they don't care about your comfort. These people might not be malicious, but their behavior shows a lack of regard for your well-being. And at this stage in life, you don't have time to constantly defend your boundaries. Some people will act offended when you enforce your limits. They'll call you selfish or say you've changed. And you know what? Good. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to evolve and prioritize your own well-being. The people who truly care about you will respect that. The ones who don't, they'll guilt trip, manipulate, and test your limits over and over again. The solution is simple. Protect your peace at all costs. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, distance yourself. If they can't respect your time, energy, or choices, they don't deserve access to you. You've earned the right to put yourself first. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing your own happiness. If someone truly values you, they'll respect your boundaries without question. At this stage in life, the only people you should keep close are those who respect your decisions, uplift your spirit, and honor your space. Anyone else, let them go. At 50 and beyond, peace should be your priority. You've spent decades navigating relationships, giving your time, energy, and emotions to others. But now it's time to ask yourself who actually deserves access to me. Because the truth is, not everyone does. Life is too short to keep chasing connections that drain you. Too short to hold on to people out of guilt, obligation, or fear of being alone. The harsh reality? Some relationships have an expiration date. And the longer you hold on to people who no longer fit your journey, the more you block yourself from the happiness and freedom you truly deserve. This isn't about cutting off everyone and living in isolation. It's about being intentional with your time, energy, and emotions. It's about choosing quality over quantity, keeping only the people who add joy, support, and positivity to your life. It's about surrounding yourself with those who respect you, who celebrate your growth, and who bring peace instead of problems. So, if a relationship makes you feel heavy instead of light, drained instead of energized, stressed instead of at peace, let it go. If someone can't respect your boundaries, uplift your spirit, or appreciate your presence, they don't deserve access to you. The older you get, the more you realize that happiness is a choice. And that choice often comes down to who you allow in your life. So choose wisely, protect your peace, and most importantly, never feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. Because at this stage in life, you are your greatest investment. That's it, the full 10-part breakdown of why you should be mindful about who you keep in your life after 50. What's your biggest takeaway from this? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. If you've made it this far, you're already part of the 1% that's choosing growth, peace, and purpose every single day.